Two people, same dream, same budget of around $80,000. Same goal, a beautiful tiny house they can actually live in. One of them hires a custom builder, sits down with a designer, picks every material by hand, and waits 8 months for their dream home to be built exactly the way they imagined it. The other one clicks buy on a factory-direct tiny house website, waits 6 weeks, and moves into a home that's almost identical on paper, for roughly the same price, sometimes less. So here's the question that's about to save you thousands of dollars, or cost you thousands of dollars, depending on how you answer it. Which one actually made the smarter decision? Today we're breaking down custom versus factory-direct tiny houses with real 2026 numbers, the cost, the quality, the hidden traps in both directions, so you know exactly which path is worth your money before you commit a single dollar. And stay with me until the end, because the final verdict is not the one most tiny house channels give you. Before we get into it, if you're seriously considering a tiny house purchase this year, hit subscribe right now. This channel exists to give you the numbers other tiny house content leaves out, the real costs, the real trade-offs, no sponsor bias, no builder trying to sell you something. Turn on notifications too, because we're covering financing, land costs, and resale value in upcoming videos that build directly on what you're about to learn. Okay, let's get into it. Let's clear up the terminology first, because a lot of buyers get this wrong before they even start comparing prices. A custom-built tiny house means you're working with a builder, often a small, local outfit or a specialized tiny house company, who designs your home from the ground up around your specific wants. You choose the layout, the materials, the finishes, sometimes even the exact placement of every outlet and window. It's built to your exact specifications, usually on-site or in a small workshop, often by hand, often by a small crew. A factory-direct tiny house, on the other hand, comes from a manufacturer that builds using standardized, repeatable floor plans in a controlled factory environment. You're not designing from scratch. You're choosing from a catalog of pre-engineered models, sometimes with a limited set of upgrade options like flooring, appliance packages, or exterior siding. The home gets built on an assembly line, essentially, then shipped to your land already finished or nearly finished. Here's the important nuance a lot of people miss. Factory direct doesn't automatically mean cheap and generic, and custom doesn't automatically mean better quality. In 2026, some factory direct builders are using more advanced engineering, tighter tolerances, and more consistent quality control than small custom shops, simply because a controlled indoor factory environment eliminates a lot of the weather damage, material waste, and human error that happens on an open-air custom-build site. Meanwhile, some custom builders are genuinely artisanal, producing homes with a level of craftsmanship and personalization no factory catalog could ever offer. Both categories have excellent options, and both have ones you should avoid. The real differences come down to price, timeline, flexibility, and what happens after you move in. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next. Let's get to the number everyone actually wants to know. How much more does custom really cost? Across multiple 2026 industry sources, the pattern is remarkably consistent. Custom-built tiny houses typically run $50,000 to $140,000, averaging somewhere around $143,000 for a fully custom, professionally built home once you include design work and finishes. Factory direct and prefab tiny houses, by comparison, typically run anywhere from $30,000 up to around $86,000 for a comparable finished unit, with entry-level factory direct shell kits starting as low as $28,900 before site work. Broken down by price per square foot, prefab and factory direct builds generally run $150 to $250 per square foot, while fully custom builds run $250 to $450 per square foot. That's not a small gap. On an identical 200 square foot home, that difference alone can mean $20,000 to $40,000 separating the two builds before you've added a single upgrade. Why the gap? A big part of it comes down to something the industry itself points to directly. Factory direct pricing eliminates the retail markup that typically inflates a custom unit by 20 to 30%. That markup pays for a builder's showroom, sales commissions, one-off design labor, and the simple inefficiency of building a single, unique home instead of the same floor plan 50 times over. Factories benefit from bulk material purchasing, standardized processes, and assembly line labor efficiency, all of which custom builders, by definition, don't get access to. But, and this is important, cheaper upfront doesn't always mean cheaper overall. Depending on the specific factory direct model you choose, you may be buying a bare shell that still needs interior finishing, appliances, plumbing, and electrical completed separately, which can quietly bring the factory direct price right back up toward custom build territory once everything's actually installed. Always ask exactly what's included in that base price before assuming you're getting the full picture. Let's make this concrete with an actual side-by-side. Say you want roughly a 200 square foot, one-bedroom tiny house with a decent kitchen and a full bathroom. Going custom, expect a builder's quote somewhere around $60,000 to $90,000 once design fees and finishes are factored in, with the final number shaped heavily by exactly which materials and appliances you select along the way. Going factory direct for a comparable finished, turnkey model, expect somewhere closer to $45,000 to $70,000, already including standard fixtures and a factory-tested build. That $15,000 to $20,000 gap is fairly representative of what most 2026 buyers are actually seeing once you stop comparing bare-bones listings against fully custom quotes and start comparing genuinely equivalent, move-in ready homes. Money isn't the only currency here. Time matters too, and this is where the gap between custom and factory direct becomes enormous. A custom-built tiny house typically takes 2 to 4 months for the build itself, but that number is deceptive. It usually doesn't include the weeks or months spent in the design phase beforehand, working out floor plans, choosing materials, and getting permits approved. Add all of that together, and many custom buyers are looking at 6 months to a year from their first conversation with a builder to actually moving in. Custom builders are also more exposed to delays, material shortages, weather interruptions on an open build site, and the simple reality that a small crew building one unique home at a time can't absorb setbacks the way a factory production line can. Factory direct builds move dramatically faster because the home is built on a repeatable production line using pre-ordered, bulk purchase materials. Many factory direct buyers report waiting as little as 4 to 8 weeks from order to delivery, especially for standard models without heavy customization. Some sellers even advertise free transport within a set radius, further shrinking the total time between "I decided to buy this" and "I'm sleeping in it." If your timeline is flexible and the design process itself is part of what excites you about a tiny house, custom might genuinely be worth the wait. But if you're trying to get out of a lease, escape a housing emergency, or simply want to stop paying rent as fast as possible, the timeline gap alone can be a deciding factor, sometimes worth more than the dollar savings. This is the question that causes the most arguments in tiny house forums, and the honest answer is, it depends entirely on who you're buying from, not which category you're buying from. On the factory direct side, a genuinely well-run manufacturer builds inside a climate-controlled facility, which means materials never sit exposed to rain, humidity swings, or temperature extremes during construction, a real problem on open-air custom-build sites, where lumber can absorb moisture and warp before a home is even finished. Factories also tend to use standardized, tested assemblies, meaning the same wall system, roof system, and insulation package gets built correctly hundreds of times over, rather than being figured out fresh on each individual custom project. A well-built, factory-direct, tiny home can realistically last 30 to 50 years with standard maintenance, using materials like metal roofing and residential-grade siding that hold up similarly to a conventional house. On the custom side, the advantage isn't necessarily raw durability, it's control. A custom builder gives you the freedom to specify exactly which materials go into your home, which matters enormously if you care about sourcing sustainable, locally produced, or higher-grade materials than what a factory standard spec sheet includes. If eco-conscious building genuinely matters to you, reclaimed wood, specific insulation types, integrated solar systems designed around your unique energy needs, a custom build gives you a level of control no factory catalog can fully replicate. The real danger zone in both categories is the same: low-end, corner-cutting builders. A poorly run factory can absolutely churn out flimsy, low-tolerance units just as easily as a poorly run custom builder can produce a home with amateur wiring, weak insulation, or sagging structure. The brand and reputation of your specific builder matters more than which category, custom or factory, they fall into. Read reviews, ask for a walkthrough of a completed unit before buying, and never judge quality purely by price tag alone. There's one more piece of the quality conversation that rarely gets mentioned. What happens after something breaks? Established factory direct manufacturers typically offer structured warranties on their homes, often covering the structure itself for a set number of years and appliances or systems for a shorter period, similar to how a manufactured home or an RV would be covered. Because they built hundreds of the same model, they also tend to have replacement parts and repair knowledge readily available, which can make future repairs faster and cheaper. Custom builders vary enormously here. Some offer strong warranties and stand behind their work for years, while smaller one-person operations may offer little more than a handshake agreement. And if that builder retires or closes shop, you could be left finding someone else willing to service a completely unique, one-of-a-kind home. Before signing with either type of builder, ask directly what's covered, for how long, and what happens if the company isn't around in 5 years. If sustainability factors into your decision at all, it's worth a quick mention here. Factory construction generally produces less material waste overall, since leftover materials from one build can be efficiently reused across the next unit on the same production line, and a controlled indoor environment reduces weather-related material loss. Custom builds can still be genuinely sustainable, but that outcome depends entirely on the individual builder's practices and your own material choices. There's more flexibility to source reclaimed wood or specific green technologies, but no guarantee of lower waste unless you specifically build that into your plan from day one. Here's where custom genuinely, undeniably wins, and it's worth being honest about that instead of pretending factory direct can match it. With a custom build, you're not choosing between 5 preset floor plans. You're designing the actual layout around how you live. Want your kitchen twice as big and your bathroom half the standard size? A custom builder can do that. Want a specific window placement to catch morning light exactly where your reading chair sits? That's a custom build conversation, not a factory direct checkbox. Tiny house builders who specialize in custom work typically employ architects and designers whose entire job is maximizing flow and function in an unusually small footprint. Expertise that's baked into the higher price tag. Factory direct models, by contrast, offer real but limited flexibility. Most manufacturers let you choose between a handful of pre-engineered floor plans, then customize within those plans, flooring options, appliance packages, exterior color, maybe a loft configuration. Some factory builders now offer upgrade packages for premium countertops or custom cabinetry, typically adding $5,000 to $25,000 depending on scope. That's real customization, but it's customization within a template, not customization from a blank page. So ask yourself honestly, do you have a specific vision that a catalog of floor plans genuinely can't satisfy? If yes, that design freedom might be worth paying tens of thousands of dollars extra for. But if you'd actually be happy with one of several well-designed, professionally engineered layouts already sitting in a factory's lineup, and most people, if they're honest, would be, you may be paying a significant premium for creative control you are never going to fully use anyway. Both custom and factory direct tiny houses generally face the same core financing challenge. Traditional mortgages usually aren't available unless the home is permanently affixed to a foundation and meets minimum square footage requirements, typically around 400 square feet or more. Most tiny homes on wheels fall well below that line, which pushes most buyers toward personal loans, RV loans for RVA certified units, or chattel mortgages for foundation-based homes. Interest rates for these tiny home-specific loan products in 2026 typically range from 6.5% to 14% APR, depending heavily on the loan type and your credit profile. But here's a meaningful difference worth knowing. Some factory direct manufacturers have built in-house financing programs specifically designed around their own units, sometimes advertising payments starting as low as around $400 a month, which is 5% down and no strict minimum credit score requirement. Custom builders rarely offer this kind of in-house financing. You're typically on your own to secure a personal loan or RV loan through a third-party lender, which can mean more paperwork, tighter credit requirements, and less predictable approval odds. This is a genuinely underrated factor. If your credit isn't spotless, or if you simply want a smoother, faster financing process, A factory direct builder's in-house financing option can be worth real money and reduce stress and fewer rejected applications. Separate entirely from the sticker price of the home itself. It's also worth understanding the 3 main loan categories you'll likely encounter regardless of which path you choose. Personal loans are the most common route for smaller units and tend to be the fastest to secure, but they usually carry the highest interest rates of the 3 options and shorter repayment terms, meaning higher monthly payments even on a smaller loan amount. RV loans can apply if your tiny home carries RVI certification, and they sometimes offer better rates and longer terms than a personal loan, closer to how a recreational vehicle would be financed. Chattel mortgages, meanwhile, apply specifically to homes placed on a permanent foundation rather than wheels, and they're treated more like a traditional home loan, which can mean more favorable terms if your build qualifies. Knowing which category your home falls into before you start shopping for financing can save you from wasting time applying for a loan product you were never actually eligible for. Nobody likes talking about this part, but it matters enormously, and it's the part most sales pitches from both sides conveniently skip. The blunt truth: tiny homes generally do not appreciate the way traditional houses do. Homes on wheels in particular tend to depreciate over time due to wear and tear on the trailer chassis, closer to how a vehicle loses value than how real estate gains it. Tiny houses also remain a genuinely niche market, which limits your pool of potential buyers whenever you decide to sell, regardless of whether your home was custom built or factory direct. That said, there is one meaningful data point worth knowing, and it actually favors factory-built construction more than most people expect. Federal housing data comparing manufactured homes on owned land against traditional site-built homes found they appreciated almost identically between the years 2000 and 2024, 211.8% for manufactured homes versus 212.6% for site-built homes, a difference of less than 1 percentage point over more than 2 decades. That's specifically for manufactured homes on permanent foundations, not tiny homes on wheels, so it doesn't translate directly, but it does dismantle the old assumption that factory-built automatically means worse long-term value. For custom build specifically, resale value tends to hinge heavily on how personalized your choices were. Extremely unique, highly personal design decisions, the exact layout, the specific materials, the unusual floor plan you loved, can actually work against you at resale, since the next buyer has to want your exact vision, not just a well-built tiny house in general. A factory direct home built on a proven, popular floor plan can sometimes be easier to resell precisely because it's more familiar and more broadly appealing to the next buyer, even if it feels less special to you personally right now. Regardless of which path you choose, there's a category of costs that neither custom nor factory direct pricing typically includes up front, and both types of buyers get caught off guard by it equally. Site preparation, grading, a gravel pad or foundation, electrical hookup, water and sewer or septic connection, commonly adds $5,000 to $25,000 depending on your location and how complicated your specific site is. If you're purchasing a factory direct unit shipped from out of state or overseas, freight and local delivery charges stack on top of the factory price as well. Permits and inspections typically run another $500 to $3,000. As a general budgeting rule that applies whether you go custom or factory direct, plan to add 20 to 40% on top of whatever sticker price you're quoted to land on your true, all-in total cost. This is the number that trips up more buyers than the custom versus factory decision itself. A buyer who picks the cheaper factory direct option but ignores site prep costs can easily end up spending more out the door than a buyer who chose custom and budgeted correctly from the start. The category you choose matters less than whether you're calculating the real, complete number before you commit. Here's the honest verdict, and it's not the same answer for everyone, because it genuinely shouldn't be. Factory direct is very likely the better value if speed matters to you, if your credit or financing situation benefits from an in-house lending program, if you'd be genuinely happy with a well-designed existing floor plan, and if predictable, fixed pricing without scope creep matters more to you than total creative control. For the large majority of first-time tiny house buyers, factory direct delivers 90% of what a custom build offers, at a meaningfully lower price and in a fraction of the time. Custom is worth the premium specifically when you have a genuine, non-negotiable vision that existing floor plans can't satisfy, an unusual layout requirement, a strong preference for specific sustainable materials, integrated systems built around a very particular lifestyle, or simply the desire to be deeply involved in every design decision along the way. If any of that describes you, the extra cost isn't waste. It's you paying for something factory catalogs structurally cannot offer, a home built around you, rather than a home you're adapting yourself to fit into. And here's the twist most videos on this topic won't tell you. The smartest buyers in 2026 aren't choosing purely custom or purely factory direct. They're choosing factory direct as their base structure, then adding targeted custom upgrades on top of it. Many manufacturers now offer meaningful customization within their standard builds, upgraded cabinetry, premium countertops, alternate layouts, letting buyers capture most of the cost and speed advantages of factory direct construction while still getting some of the personalization that used to require a fully custom build. That hybrid approach is quietly becoming the real smart money choice for 2026 buyers who want both value and personality. Without paying full custom prices for a home, they were never going to radically reinvent anyway. So, custom or factory direct? The honest answer is, it depends on what you're actually optimizing for. If it's speed, predictability, and value, factory direct wins for most people. If it's total creative control and you have a genuine reason to need it, custom earns its premium. I want to know which one you choose. Drop a comment and tell me, are you team custom, team factory direct, or team hybrid like we just talked about? If you're currently in the middle of this decision yourself, tell me your budget and your must-haves. I read every comment, and I'm happy to help you think it through. If this video actually helped clarify things for you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people see honest breakdowns like this instead of sales pitches disguised as advice. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time, because next week we're breaking down the exact hidden costs that catch first-time tiny house buyers off guard after move-in day. The stuff nobody warns you about until it's already too late. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this whole breakdown. I'll see you in the next one.